Hey everybody, thanks for joining. This is Cale Baldwin with Zero Tolerance along with Ben Fowler. Thanks for joining, Ben.
Yeah,
And
thanks, Gail. Yeah, but glad to be here.
just wanted we were actually supposed to record this yesterday, and and Ben apparently had a newborn, so congratulations on the newborn. That's awesome. I think, how old is the baby?
5 days today.
So and then he
Yeah.
made me feel bad because I tried to get him to rope him into a Zoom meeting, a recording session with a newborn baby. So
No
thank
worries.
thank you for doing this.
Sure.
So today our focus is on Beersmith, and Ben is been kind enough to go ahead and share with us the Beersmith application, and specifically the ins and outs of it when it comes to brewing gluten-free beer. And so there's some special things that we wanted to go over in regards to things that are a little bit different, or things that you want to make adjustments with within the Beersmith application, as well as just a kind of general overview for those that are new to it. So without further ado, Ben, let's take a look at Beersmith.
Perfect. All right. So right here, what you're all looking at is the homepage. This is what you're going to see when you go ahead and open up the Beersmith app. Um, you can see that you've got on the left-hand side here, you have all of the recipes that you might have created in the past. So I've got all of my files. So I've you can break this up however you want: ales, ciders, kits, whatever it is. Hey, look, there's your beer, Kale.
Oh, nice, nice.
So this is all the recipes. Down here is going to be some of your different tools and different navigation areas within recipes, different things that might be helpful, profiles, how to dial in different things there. The first thing you're going to want to do after purchasing and downloading the Beersmith app as a gluten-free home brewer is to make sure you download the add-on for gluten-free malts. And it's very simple to do. What you'll do is go up to file, and down here you'll see add-ons. So if you go ahead and click add-ons, you'll see here. So on the right, these are all of the add-ons that I have installed in my Beersmith program. These are all of the remaining add-ons that I haven't really bothered to mess with. So you can see here under type, you've got there's plenty of equipment profiles. So say you just purchased a new Anvil Foundry Series 2. You'll go ahead and load that up over here, and then when you go to brew your beer, you'll say I'm using this, and they've already done all of the homework and things for you. So this is going to be dialed in and ready to give you accurate numbers on your brew day. And they've got many, many, many different Brewzilla, Grainfather, everything on here. So over here on the right, obviously I've already downloaded it, and you can see right here, gluten-free fermentables, and there's 55 items there. So all you'll do is click it over here, click this install button, it'll move it over here for you. Boom, it's now in your system. So the way to find that and make sure that that add-on was successful in being downloaded, you're going to go over to, let's see here. So you'll go down to ingredients on this left-hand side, and you'll click fermentables. Now this is going to be everything in their system. And the easiest way I do everything in this program is using the search bar right here. So you can say millet. Boom, look at all the millets popped up right there. So you know that that was successful. When I've actually entered most of my gluten-free malts into this program prior to there being an add-on pack. And what I did was put in as the supplier for every single malt, glutenfreehomebrewing.com. So I can just kind of type in the word gluten here, and that will pop up all of the gluten-free malts that I'm using. I've also added, I don't know if it's in the add-on or not, but you can have the origin as kind of what malt house did it and all of those sorts of things. So that's how you get everything that is going to be. The add-on will typically contain everything you need from glutenfreehomebrewing.com. Now, there are other sources to purchase different gluten-free malts from. I know Brian has started up B supply or glutenfreebrewsupply.com, and they're not part of that pack. So if you wanted to add anything, even if it's lentils, anything else that you want to add into this system, while we're under this fermentables tab, again, we got to that from down here on the left, and this is fermentables open here. You'll see this button in the top left, add fermentable. So what we'll do is click add fermentable, and it's simple as that. We add all of the things in. So if we go ahead and click in new malt, you can put the origin, supplier. It's a grain that we're going to say this is what we're adding now. Important, what I like to do, it's kind of your own flavor. I like to use the inventory tab. It's very helpful, I find. So I'm going to say I have 5 pounds of this new malt. You can put the price, so you can budget your beers. We're using this in the mash. Say it's 3 SRM, 1034. You put in all of your stats here, and then we're going to go ahead and click OK. So now when I go to my fermentables, you can see that the new malt is right here. So that is it for adding a new malt that is not in the system.
That's a really expensive. Do you really want to put the price in if you're doing gluten-free brewing though,
Yeah,
Brian
I
or
know.
Ben?
It's maybe best left blank for us.
Now, question for you: when you're showing the pack, the gluten-free pack that you can load in there, are you able to edit those things like PPGs, or are they static in there and you can't edit those?
Yep, absolutely. Everything is able to be updated. So if we go in here and type in grouse and spell it correctly, then we've got everything. So it's all logged in here. So if you click any of these, say that this is how pale millet malt came over from the pack. Boom, double click it, and you've got all the stuff right here. I can say, oh, you know what? Grouse actually redid their, kilning times or something, and this is now 4 SRM. Boom, you can update it whenever you need to. So that's very,
That
very simple.
might be useful for the new enzymes that are being used, and the PPG numbers are kind of inching up. So you might see that, hey, well, I got this really high gravity using the base numbers, but maybe I need to bump those PPGs up using the enzymes that we are using today.
Absolutely. And I had to do that exact thing that you just described. I had to go through and, I've kind of got some of them I haven't updated, and I do it each recipe. And then I just need to sit down and go through my entire thing. So I'm getting probably closer to 1030 on the
Okay.
millet there. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you add any grains, custom or part of the pack. Pretty simple. Um, if you're going to create a recipe, the way you're going to add those grains to your recipe in the creation. So again, here we are at our homepage. The top left, this will always be here, add a recipe. So we're going to say, demo beer is what we're making. And then very important, the first thing you'll do is click your equipment right here. So they have all of the, things that are part of the add-ons that are already in here, and some, basic equipment profiles that you might have. So what I've done is I have my equipment right here. The one I'm currently using is my equipment, 5.5 gallons of beer. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that's what I'm using. It's saying a mismatch warning because I have yet to tag this as all grain, and the system is set up as an all grain profile.
Okay.
Now, if you need to, set your profile, I guess I should backtrack really quickly. All you do is go to profiles, equipment, and then you can go in the top left corner, add equipment. Boom, you're going to put in all of your stats and everything to know. The most important thing is really boil off volume and things like that. But this is pretty self-explanatory. There's lots of videos on the Beersmith YouTube channel to show you how to set up your equipment and everything. But it is important to make sure that you go ahead and do that before building a recipe. So we've got our equipment dialed in here. We've got all grain, 5.5 gallons. You can change your brew house if you're kind of knowing where it's at currently, 60-minute boil, and then all that. So to add your fermentables, you can see right here, these are the tabs we're using to, the buttons that we're using to create the recipe. We've got fermentables, hops, etc. So similar to other programs out there. And again, I just like to use the search tool because it's a lot quicker. So we can go pale, millet, boom, we're doing 7 pounds, add, and there you go. And it works just the same with that new custom malt that we did. Boom, it's added into there. From there, you've got starter tab. You can do that. Water. So there's two ways to do your water. You can do that as part of the recipe tool in here, which is how I like to do it. Um, and it's very simple. So the water we're going to add, they have all of these pre-built profiles. This top is the water that we're going to actually use, that we're going to treat. So let's say we're going to use distilled water, completely blank slate. It is already telling me that I need 8.44 gallons total for this recipe that I've already, installed here on this previous thing. So we've got the water, and again, that number is specific to my equipment and everything that I've dialed in there. And then down here, we click match a target profile, and we're going to choose a target profile, and we are going to be doing, um, let's see, well, we're just going to be doing, there we go, New England IPA. So we're adding that. These are all the numbers. I actually added this profile in myself. And then simple as that down here. These are what we're adding into the mash, and this is what we're adding into the sparge. This is all of our total numbers to make sure it all checks out. Pretty simple. Beersmith makes that very, very easy. I've seen a lot of people use kind of the Bruin water spreadsheet. I downloaded that once and said, nope, this is not for me.
Yeah,
This is a
no,
little too complex. I'm sure it's very useful once you get it dialed in, but I said, nope, I'm gonna go with the Beersmith on this one.
that does look pretty easy. It looks a little bit more intuitive than some of the other applications that I've seen as well. That's
Yeah,
nice.
definitely. And so this is kind of how you do it in here. If you go to the water under ingredients, this is where you're gonna, again, everything whenever you're doing a new profile or a new recipe or a new anything, it's in this top left corner. So you just click add water right here, and you can go ahead and do it. What I did is, if you have decent water at home, it's worth getting a test. You can use the Ward Labs. At the previous house I was living at, I had it tested. So I entered my tap water in there. So this is how my tap water
Yeah.
came back. So if the recipe, you can see I've got, 227 for the bicarbonate, pretty high chloride, 47. So you can, use this as your base water, and it'll use that and tell you what to add again. So you don't have to necessarily go out and purchase, RO water or anything like that. So after, water, you've got your mash. This is the other thing that's very important for us gluten-free brewing. You're going to want to have this mash profile set up. So for me, when I click right here, we've got, this is how I have it set up right now. The one gripe I have with Beersmith is that they want, sorry, I've got to actually choose my, right here. So I'll go GF mash. I've got 3. I know I want that bottom one. We've got it right here. So it's probably not going to come up great right now because we didn't build a full recipe, right? But I've got GF mash, and the problem is it doesn't let you, it'll say there and you can print the recipe, but it doesn't like to have it saved when you reopen the app as a step down. It thinks you should only be doing a step up. So what I have to do is come down here and click move step up, and then I print my recipe off and it comes out in the right order. But when you
Okay.
close the app and reopen it, it'll always flip it back around to make it a rising step mash. So I'm going to, add 10 quarts of water at 209 strike temp. And then I'm going to add 1.24 quarts. I use like 40-degree water, and that'll, bring it down to 150 degrees. And then I can add my 7 mil in Ondia Pro. So you can build that however you want. Again, if you go down here on the bottom, kind of your master, guidance area. Let me see here. If we click, actually, we want to go to tools, and maybe not tools. We're going to go to mash right down here. And again, always adding in the top left corner. This is where you can set up exactly how you want it to be. And then it'll be under your recipes. When you click right here, you'll
So
see just like
oh,
I
I
have.
see. So there's built-in mashing profiles, but you can build your own, and you have a bunch that you've built in there. But the one issue that you have is that if they're doing down steps, it'll flip them around.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
it's many, many times I've printed off the recipe and I get in the garage and I look at it and I go, God, it's flipped around. That's not how I'm making this beer. I mean, I know what I'm doing, and it's just I'm a little anal and I want it to be in
That's
order.
that's a
So
security. That's a brewing security feature right there.
yeah, exactly. So out of all the gripes to have, I think there's worse things that there could be. So it's not too big of a deal, but just something I like to mention. Um, and then kind of lastly here, really is the session. So this is where I have kind of a brew day checklist that I just write with, pen and paper in the garage, and then I bring it in at the end of the brew day, enter all of my numbers into here, and then it will churn out your kind of final stats. We can go to, if you go to like a finished beer that I've done here, you can go back and I can see my session and I've got everything loaded into here, right? So you can see measured efficiency came out at 84, all of your different stats, all of your hydrometer readings, where your temperature and your gravity follow versus your plan, which is in the blue, all easy to keep track of there. So that's probably, pretty much the quick overview and what you want to do with this program, GF specifically. Everything else is really going to be a direct crossover. You can watch any video on YouTube. Again, specifically, the Beersmith channel on YouTube has a lot of informative videos, and all of that other stuff is going to be the same. That's really what you need to know to get started with gluten-free brewing on here.
That is an excellent overview, and what we wanted to show is essentially what you just said, right? What's the gluten-free brewing specific items that we want to call out, and I think you've done a great job of overviewing those things. As Ben said, there's a ton of information about Beersmith out there. It's one of the big applications out there, maybe the big application, that one in Brewers Friends that people use, especially in a home brew club setting, to create recipes and use those for brewing. Um, and so, but we could probably spend like 5 hours, right, talking
Easily.
about
Yep.
this stuff,
Yep.
right? Like, what's your pH, right? Yeah, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, so I think this is a great overview. Thanks for jumping on and reviewing that. Any last parting words before we shut it down?
No, happy brewing. I know it's what day is it? I have a newborn, so I don't know. It's Wednesday, but I do have my one
We need
beer
a
of the day
beer.
here. So cheers, guys.
All right. Thanks, Ben, for the overview, and thanks to everyone that joined. Take
Yeah,
care.
cheers.